guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. And today, if you guys, this is the Harry Potter movie review. Today we're tackling Harry Potter Year 6, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Now you're probably wondering, Franchise, where's the DVD? Right now, I did have Harry Potter 1 through 7 on DVD and Harry Potter 8, Deathly Hallows Part 2 on Blu-ray. That was the only one I had on Blu-ray. And then my parents and I, we went to Amish Country, and then we went to Barnes & Noble, and I saw this. And I got it as an early birthday gift. It is Harry Potter, the complete 8-film collection on Blu-ray. It's got, Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner, all of them. And, the only one I've ever seen on Blu-ray is Deathly Hallows Part 2. From Harry Potter 1 to Deathly Hallows Part 1, they've always been DVD, right? I've said it on this, series. They're great movies, but, they look like dirt. They look like poop because they're like 480p, they're DVD quality. They're not that good. So seeing the Half-Blood Prince for the very first time, on Blu-ray, which is why I'm not chucking this on the ground, it's pretty effing cool, It's a big fat little stack of DVDs, they got the whole thingamajig over here, they got all the discs, all the cool stuff. It's really cool. And, seeing Half-Blood Prince for the first time in HD was actually pretty sick. So, that's why. I think it was awesome, it's pretty cool. And, this is probably the one movie out of all 8 films that I kind of looked back on and said, I don't know about this one. This one was okay, I guess. It's not my favorite. It's kind of not as good. But, maybe seeing it in HD, actually kind of changed my mind. But I always had that theory, why does the Half-Blood Prince, why does that significant name, Snape, why does that matter? Why does it matter at all? And, maybe I'm missing something, but I really don't think the whole Half-Blood Prince thing in the freaking book doesn't really matter. I think it just happens to be Snape's journal, but it's also kind of coincidence or, kind of coinciding with the fact that Snape is literally the guy kind of behind everything. He's kind of the middleman, so to speak. So that is kind of cool. Again, if there's actually a reason that I missed or that's in the book that I didn't read, why does the Half-Blood Prince journal mean anything apart from just crazy spells? Make sure to tell me in the comments, because again, I did not read the novel. But as far as I can tell in this, movie, that's the significance of it. But, I always had this feeling that, this is my least favorite. This is the one where I'm not too great about. But I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I think that, it doesn't have a crazy epic final battle like Order of the Phoenix did. This crazy awesome wizard duel. It was just more or less, I guess you could chalk up the final battle to Dumbledore and Harry in that crazy, rock area, almost like an Ireland mountain type thing, or a rock formation with all the crazy creatures in there, fire. That could be the thing. But, then there's also not this crazy fight, like I said, where you have a character versus another character, right? Because, they get back, Snape just freaking kills Dumbledore. Harry tries to fight him, but he just kind of gets knocked back on his butt, and he's like, hey, I'm the Half-Blood Prince. See ya. And he kind of, leaves. So there's not a crazy epic, blood pumping, adrenaline pumping fight, This is a slower movie, right? There's a lot of talking. There's a lot of scenes that are there's barely any action really in the movie, at all. And, the action that is in it is good. But again, at the same time, it does favor more for, conversation and just kind of building the lore, building the plot, and just kind of getting to the whole essence of the film, besides Snape and the Half-Blood Prince thing, is, what makes Voldemort so effing powerful. Why is he, so I guess, powerful? And the reason behind that is basically the Horcruxes. And, now we find out that, Harry dispatched 1 or 2 of them in the past, and now Harry, Ron, Hermione have the task of finding and eliminating the other Horcruxes in Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. Now, it is really cool that this movie does, set up the Deathly Hallows duology or, double feature, but at the same time, maybe I think there was the reason why I never quite, looked back on this film and went, that was awesome, is, again, it is a slower movie. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because you do need that to make the other stuff matter. Maybe it was a bit too slow. Maybe there were things in there that I would have changed. I would have had something. I guess there was a fight between Harry and Draco. Again, the movie, when it has action scenes, they're not really action scenes. They're more like fights or violence. You know what I mean? And this is a PG-rated movie. I don't know how the hell this got a PG rating. There's swearing. There's that crazy, creepy-ass possession of that girl with the necklace, like freaking Evil Dead, in the air. That was weird. I remember watching that with Alan. If you're watching this, I remember that scared the crap out of him because it was like 3 in the morning. We stayed up. I was like, wake up, look! And he was like, what? And there's ladies just floating in the sky, you know, it's crazy. But at the same time, you also get, you know, this scene where Draco's literally bleeding out in the bathroom with Sectum Sempra, you know, all that. And it's you know, not... I don't know why it got a PG rating, you know what I mean? I really don't. I think, you know, because Harry Potter 1, 2, 3 were PG, 4, 5 was PG-13, 6, which is Half-Blood Prince, is PG, and the rest are, of course, PG-13. So it's kind of weird that they went PG-13, PG-13, PG! It's like, I don't know, whatever. Maybe that's me. But, again, it is more of a dark, violent, mature-esque film. You know, there's some funny moments, as in every Harry Potter movie, right? You know, there's some light, some levity in there, but a lot of it is really getting down to Snape, Dumbledore, and just the whole aspect of, you know, him literally dying, and we see Draco, you know, his character progression, which isn't necessarily a positive thing, but, you know, in terms of the moral standard of Draco, but, you know, he's always been the bully, his dad's always been a Death Eater, so we kind of knew this was going to happen at some point. Seeing the whole Borgin and Burks or whatever, the whole Vanishing Cabinet thing was really cool. Seeing the love aspect, which, again, they could have really overdone, they could have made it very cheesy and very, you know, awkward, but they made it, you know, it is awkward, but that's the point, you know what I mean, because they're all, I mean, they're all in puberty now, but, you know, at the same time, it's, you know, Harry and Ginny, and, you know, Ron and Hermione, and you have that other crazy girl that likes Ron, you know, so it's in there, but it's not overdone, where it's like, oh my god, you know, like, take iCarly, you know, that show iCarly, this is a good effing show, you know what I mean, I didn't see the new reboot, or, you know, whatever, I saw the original show when I was a kid, and it's a funny show, you know what I mean, it still holds up, it's a very entertaining, very funny show, but toward the later seasons of iCarly, they started ditching the comedy for, again, Freddie and you know, Carly, or Freddie and Sam, or, you know, whoever the hell, and it kind of got to a point where, you know, me, who was hitting puberty, yeah, that's when I started liking girls too, but I was like, okay, I liked when it was funny, I didn't like when it was just drama and kissing all the time, you know what I mean, and then it kind of veered off toward more like tween girl than, you know, male and female. It was just more of a female-centric show at that point. And this film could have went that route, but it didn't. Because, again, they do balance out the action. They do balance out the comedy. And they do balance everything out, you know, nicely in terms of the romance as well. And I think it works. You know, I mean, I really do. I think there's a lot of great shots in there. David Yates, of course, this is his second Harry Potter film. The first was, of course, Order of the Phoenix. In fact, David Yates is the guy who did Order, Half-Blood, Deathly Hallows 1 and 2, and every single Fantastic Beasts film. They never got rid of him. Maybe that's bad. I don't know. Apparently, no one likes Fantastic Beasts apart from me. Yes, the new movie is a bit woke, but at the same time, I think, you know, it is worth seeing. I did enjoy it. It was just, there were a few things I had questions about, but I think David Yates is a good director, and he's very good in this film as well. I think that there's some really good shots, and I always notice whenever there's like when Harry and Ginny are in like the weeds or whatever, and right before the Weasley house gets blown up or whatever by the Death Eaters, the film almost feels like IMAX. Maybe it is, but it's just the way they shoot the scene. It feels a little more. You know, David Yates is obviously going with the camera. You know, he's just shaking it like crazy, and they're probably stabilizing or whatever. But you know, he is shaking the camera a lot to, you know, give that sense of, you know, I guess, dread and anxiety. Because, you know, again, a lot of the movie is talking. So when you get to that violent scene or that action scene or whatever, something more exciting than just talking, it really does hit the spot. And it's really, really, you know, it is there, and it effing works. But, again, part of the reason why I never really loved this as my favorite, again, it's slow. But looking back at that now, you know, I never had a problem with it. It was just personally, you know, I didn't love it as much. But as far as negatives, I really can't think of too many. I think that there's, you know, maybe one or two scenes where the CGI is a bit wonky. I think that, but, you know, the Quidditch scene in this movie is by far the best Quidditch we've ever seen. Hands down, I think it's fantastic. The way the shots are, the CGI is pretty freaking flawless, you know. All that is really good. The acting's good. I think Draco's probably the weakest actor. You know, of course, when he's about to kill Dumbledore, he's good in that. But I don't know, I just felt Draco was never the best in any of the movies. He's not bad, just compared to everyone else who was so freaking good. He's kind of like, you know, whatever. But I did enjoy it, you know what I mean? I think that Snape is, you know, having more character development for him. It's late. And Draco and Dumbledore and Harry, you know, I think Daniel Radcliffe, I remember, I read somewhere in a magazine, he was like, oh, I don't like my performance in Half-Blood Prince. I don't like it. It was dumb. I didn't feel like I was doing my best. And, you know, he's full of crap, because he did effing great, you know what I mean? Maybe he's referring to when he drank the Felix potion, the liquid luck, because he's going, he's being stupid, he's being funny. I guess drinking that makes you kind of, like, wasted, I guess. You know what I mean? I've never been drunk. I've never done drugs. I never will. but at the same time, I'd have to imagine just taking a shit ton of LSD, that is probably what you sort of would feel like, without the giant regret in the morning, because he's like, he's just acting goofy, and maybe that's why he was like, oh, I don't like that, because it feels, almost disingenuous to how Harry is. Yeah, Harry's funny sometimes, but he's more or less, serious because he's literally his entire effing life is serious. So for him to kind of be goofy and stupid, maybe that's what he's referring to. I don't know. I think it works. I think the comedy works in that, those scenes. I really have an issue with that because that's the point. In the book, tell me if that actually happens, because maybe David Yates is like, I don't know, drink it, and it makes you funny. I don't know. They didn't really tell you why he's acting goofy. It's just assumed because of what he drank, which obviously. But at the same time, I kind of wish they did explain it a little bit more. Kind of like with Snape and the Half-Blood Prince, I kind of wish they explained that a bit more too. Like, yeah, okay, thematically it makes sense because he's, the guy. He's like the double-crossing agent. He's like the freaking Mac from Crystal Skull. You know what I mean? He's like that kind of Black Widow-esque character. He's basically like a spy, and. I wish they were like, oh, and he's like, I'm a Half-Blood Prince. I'm like, why do I care that you're the Half-Blood Prince? Why do I, what's the incentive to care? Apart that Harry got the book, and it's got some cool-ass spells, and it's got the Half-Blood Prince written on it, and that's the name of the movie. You know what I mean? Like, the Order of the Phoenix, that had a big, draw in the film. Goblet of Fire, Prisoner of Azkaban, Chamber of Secrets, Sorcerer's Stone. Every title of these movies means something. And the Half-Blood Prince does mean something, but it isn't as strong as, say, any other title in the film. Actually, how it correlates to the film. At least in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, he's in the field, he's like, yeah, it's me, bitch, and he walks away. It's like, okay, why do I care? You know what I mean? What's the incentive to this? And I know it is there, and I'm not stupid, right? Snape, like I said, he's like the spy. But in terms of, like, if the Half-Blood Prince, if the book was Lupin, or, Sprouts, or freaking Trelawney, any other teacher, McGonagall, why does that book correlate to Snape being a double-crossing assassin spy guy who thinks he's bad, but he's actually good? There's all these twists and turns to Snape's character. And at the same time, it's like, all right, cool, but, that's my question. It's like, why, what does the book have to do with anything except from him just knowing that stuff? You know what I mean? Again, I don't think I missed anything. They didn't really explain it too much in the movie. And again, I'm not an idiot. I don't need to be explained to like I'm a preschooler. But at the same time, I can infer, but this was a bit more than I should have been inferring. You know what I mean? So if they actually explain it in the book, because again, I have not read them, please tell me in the comments below. But other than that, I think the Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince is very fun. It's funny at times. It's very dark, very mature, and very serious. Especially if I don't know how it got a PG rating. But it really does set up the fact that, yeah, Dumbledore is dead. And, like the movie literally ends with basically, and I hate to bring this up, but it's like a school intruder event where literally these terroristic people bust into Hogwarts, start breaking shit, they're kicking things, they're destroying the place. And it really is, literally Dumbledore dies, and as soon as that happens, it's like, boom, the Death Eaters are here, Draco leaves, Snape is in charge, It's like the villains are just running the place now. Alright guys, so you're going to see a quick little edit here. Normally I don't like to do a whole lot of edits in my videos, but my camera died, so that's cool. I probably have a different shirt on, I don't know, I'm filming the end of this on Labor Day, but I was basically talking about Dumbledore and the, school not actually being safe. Now the Bellatrix and Snape, and they're all kind of there. So overall, I'm just going to round the video out anyway here. Of course, every time I'm done with that effing video, the thing just shuts off on me, so that's cool. Anyway, look, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince used to be kind of underrated in my opinion. It's kind of just the one that was like, it's alright. Looking back at it, watching it in HD on Blu-ray, it definitely is a better movie than what I originally, over the course of probably, seeing it for a few times, have really given it credit for. I always enjoyed it. I never hated it. It was always just my least favorite Harry Potter movie. Just nothing really stood out apart from Dumbledore's death, and that is done very well. But I think that the movie, again, it succeeds in being a little slower because it is setting up for Deathly Hallows and all that. So it is a good movie. It has some pretty cool action, and again, I really enjoyed it for the most part. So I'm going to give Half-Blood Prince, I'll give it an A. I really don't have that many issues with it. I think, again, there's whatever I don't even remember, but whatever I said it before I cut the video, it's definitely not perfect, but, maybe because it's a bit slow, but I enjoyed it. Again, I really don't understand why I never used to like it too much. It's kind of weird, I don't know. But anyway, I cannot wait for Deathly Hallows Part 1, which will be, of course, next. And then after part 2, I'm all done. And then once I get back from Universal, I'll make a video on it. I'm going to be covering the MCU again with Phase 2, starting with Iron Man 3. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Half-Blood Prince review. And by the way, I remember saying something in the video like, oh, I don't know why he's called the Half-Blood Prince. Basically, I Googled it, and Snape's mom, her last name is Prince, and I think his dad's last name is, of course, Snape, so he's a half-blood, right? One's a muggle, one's a wizard, witch, whatever. And then, you know, I believe, like, it's implied or something that Snape grew up kind of poor, so he essentially, you know, he took the name Half-Blood Prince, not because he's actually a prince, but because he loved his mom, and he wanted to kind of, you know, pay tribute to her and not his dad. So that's my Google research of the day. That's actually really effing cool, you know what I mean? The fact that they didn't explain that in the movie is kind of crappy, because, oh yeah, that was my negative. Because, you know, you really should know, like, you know, why is he called that? Oh, I don't know, read the book, nerd! You know, I guess that's the answer, I don't know. But overall, I enjoyed it. It's pretty scary in times, pretty intense, pretty dark, and pretty tragic at the same time. And again, it all leads up to the big Horcrux hunt that will be Deathly Hallows Part 1. Don't forget, we have to do a little spell here. I try to do one from every movie, so let's see here. Alright, make sure to like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new for the rest of Harry Potter and a bunch of other cool stuff. I'll try not to blow myself up, but let's see. Now, I'm going to do a spell from the Half-Blood Prince that actually Harry read about in the Half-Blood Prince, aka Snape's journal. I don't know how well this is going to go, but we're going to try it. Ready? Alright. Sectum Sempra! Wait a minute.